We are now headed from Orlando, Florida to New Orleans, Louisiana. And in this episode, we're going to talk about all the things that we hate about van life.
All right, so we just pulled into New Orleans, into the, was it historic district?
The French Quarter.
French Quarter, and very narrow streets. So this is the first thing we don't like about van life. Even though this van is only 21 feet, so it does fit in a traditional parking spot, it just fits. And when you're in a narrow kind of street area like we are right now, parking is very, very difficult. So we a lot of times have to park outside of town or outside the area we want to be in. But it's definitely a lot better than Class A, wouldn't you say, or Class C?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, so wish us luck. We're looking for a good parking spot.
I think I got it. I gotta pull up a little better, I think.
Can we get out?
No, I think I'm okay. Dang it. Tire rubbing against the curb, or am I good?
You're good.
Really? So we're here in the French Quarter, and I just barely found a spot to park. But check out this park job. Look at that. That's like an inch, baby. The van
Is locked. Van is locked.
We have to say this to ourselves every time after we leave the van, because 9 times out of 10 we forget whether or not we locked the van. So we have to walk back, and it's usually locked, but just to be safe, we always triple checked and
Now
say
it's on video.
the van is
Check-
locked.
Check later.
That's true.
Made it here to
Café du Monde.
Jack can get his New Orleans coffee and
The beignets. Now, I am mostly vegan, except for times when there are beignets around.
I'm gonna look for vegan ones later.
How's your coffee, babe?
It's good. A little strange, but actually I haven't drank coffee in so long, so I don't know. How were your dessert
Oh,
things?
so good. So we went to Café du Monde, and they have coffee that is blended with chicory. It makes it unique, and these amazing beignets, which were so good. But I can't tell Paul because they're not vegan. So we are on the hunt for some vegan beignet.
I have faith.
One of the other things about van life that sucks is that you're always going to new places, so there are always going to be new ways to spend money and new ways to eat unhealthily, which is one of the cool things about it, because it's why we do what we do, to see new things and experience different foods and cultures and places. But at the same time, it's very easy to go broke and to get a little bit unhealthy. So it's always helpful to have a mindful partner to hold you back a little bit.
It's also a great idea to kind of like establish beforehand, like how you want to travel and what you want to do. So like we decided when we go to new places, we want to try the new foods and we want to experience things. But you know, sometimes we go out and we split food so that we're not, you know, just gorging every single day when we go to a new city.
As long as it's exactly cut in half. Right, babe?
Mm-hmm.
When you're living with your spouse in a van, you spend a lot of time together. Sometimes a little too much time.
I'm going to get vegan desserts for me. I just had coffee for the first time in like a year. Coffee!
Paul's a little caffeinated, he's getting a little crazy. But seriously, what are some tips and tricks on staying married while living in a van?
Noise canceling headphones.
Always do what your spouse wants, period. That's it. Easiest way, right?
What are we talking about more? Like space or what?
Let's talk about space first. So to give each other space, we don't really have much. We have 2 separate beds, which definitely helps out a lot. But I'd say we usually swap off. Like if I am on a video call and he has to do some work, then one of us will go into like a coffee shop and the other will stay in the van.
Yeah. So that's a big thing. The other thing is just like your mindset around it. So like, you know, I'm a person who like gets like annoyed when I'm like bumping into people and like in a small space and just like, oh, you're in my way. But really, Chad's not in my way. Like there's just,
sometimes I am though.
There's just space. We're both in it, and we have to just live with that. So if we're both in the same space, which like back by the beds, it gets very crowded. I had to realize like he's not in my way. We're just in the same space because this is our space. And
Yeah.
It's like a mindset shift around it.
And emotionally too, I feel like you really do have to give each other space just to have some alone time, to relax, you know, to take care of yourself. So I feel like we do a pretty good job planning when we're going to have excursions together,
Yep.
when we're going to sit and chat and connect, and then when we just need to be left alone.
Yeah, and sometimes you just get out of the van, you know, whether that's to go to like a coffee shop to do work or take the dog out for WALK, just things like that. Just get out. That's sometimes what you have to do. Another thing I'll say about this is we have to keep the van neat.
Yes.
Maybe that should be its own separate thing.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's another thing that's really hard about van life, is it's such a small space that one little crumb or one thing moved out of place makes it just feel totally chaotic and disorganized. So I feel like we're always cleaning all day, every day.
Yeah.
Let's talk about poop. So when we first got the van, we loved this gorgeous, spacious bathroom. And I'll tell you, I was pooping willy-nilly in here. But the problem is that when you say goodbye to that poop, it's not going to be the last time you see it. You have to take care of it. It doesn't just go away of its own accord. It goes into a small tank below us. And I think the tank capacity we have on our Travato is around 12 gallons. So you have to take care of it. And I've gotten better at dumping over the time that we've had it, but it's still quite the task. You know, you have to put on gloves, you have a hose, it gets a little smelly. So if you're used to just pooping and flushing and saying goodbye to it, a van might not be the best choice for you. So in addition to limited tank supply and limited water supply, we also have limited power supply. So here's our state of charge up here. It's at 50%. And we have a pretty big lithium battery pack, which is great, but still we use a lot of electronics during the day. Our computers, charging our phones, all the lights, all the stuff we use for internet. So we have to recharge it. So if our battery's getting low, we either have to go on a nice long drive on the highway or burn some gas and do a manual charge, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but it's still an inconvenience for those who are used to just plugging in without having to think about it.
All right, so we've made it to one of the best vegan places in town, apparently. So I can get my dessert, my just desserts.
Sorry, babe.
They did not have vegan beignets.
New Orleans, you gotta get your act together.
There's no vegan beignets in New Orleans
How
anywhere.
can there not be vegan beignets?
I'm shocked. So
Appalled.
now my goal is to find any dessert that has a French-sounding name.
Pain au chocolat, le croissant, brioche. So one thing that took a lot of getting used to in van life is getting comfortable with the fact that we really pretty much have no idea where we're going to sleep on any given night.
Yeah, I mean, when we go to an area and we find a spot, we'll usually keep going back there if we stay in that area. Like we were just in Orlando, Florida for a while, like maybe almost 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And we just slept at the same Cracker Barrel every night.
Yeah, and our friends were there, we had neighbors there, so it was nice.
Yeah, but now that we're in New Orleans for the first day, we have no idea where we're going to sleep yet.
So what we're going to do is we use iOverlander a lot. A lot of our van life friends use the same app. It's a great app, and you can log in, and we really want to stay as close to the French Quarter as we can because it's a really cool area that we want to explore more. So you can see here, when I bring up the app, there are a couple locations there that we're going to check out, and we'll see what they look like.
All right, do it.
All right, we're in the middle of the French Quarter right now, and this was one of the spots on iOverlander. It's just kind of like a parking lot that you can pay for. It looks pretty good. I don't see any other vans though, which is a bit of a concern.
All right, we've decided to move. We didn't feel very comfortable there. And Chad found another spot that apparently is very popular with RVs, and sure enough, we're pulling up and we see a lot of other vans already. They're actually all hanging out, it looks like.
Cool. Little neighbors. Doing the dishes in any context is no fun, but doing the dishes in a van really blows. So you have a constricted space that's small, you stack your dishes up high in here, and you know it's time to do the dishes, not when you run out of dishes, but when you start to smell the dirty dishes because your bed is right next to them. And with a limited water supply, the name of the game is really using as little water as possible. Scrub it out as best you can in the small amount of water that you have, and then spray the living hell out of it with your rinse water, which after about 5 minutes of this, my hand has seized up. So don't let those Instagram van life influencers fool you with their pictures of half-naked girls playing Joni Mitchell, doing the dishes with nice, warm, soapy water while the ukulele's in the corner. Oh no. Real talk, dishes in the van are not so fun. So sure, living in a van has its inconveniences, but we wouldn't trade it for anything. The fact that we can go anywhere, see the incredible country that we live in, be on our own schedule and live on our own terms is really priceless and worth all of the inconveniences that living in a van brings with it.
All right, so that's it for this week's vlog. If you want more questionable van life content, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Give this video a big thumbs up and comment down below where we should head next. Bye for now. All right, the first thing we hate is when our husbands make lame jokes and we can't escape them. First thing I hate. Second thing is when Chad's singing and it's so loud because I can't go to another room.